car review.
Car review. Review. Okay. Hit me with yours first. Hit me. I need to simmer a bit more.
For the listener. We've just seen Sonic the Hedgehog, you know.
Not the Hedgehogs.
For a second, I was like, that's his name, right? That's who he is. Okay, so I did not grow up playing the games, so I don't really have any context for Sonic in general. I watched the very old cartoon.
Yeah. Which was very good.
The one where he gives you, like, helpful life advice at the end.
Oh, nice.
Where he's like, remember kids, don't talk to strangers. That one. And the one where he likes chili dogs.
Sonic's wonderful. Sonic's a great guy.
I know he's a good boy.
The goodest boy.
And my friend Shirley is a big Sonic fan. Mm-hmm. She was very excited for the film.
As was I.
Yeah. I did not have any expectations. Mm-hmm. It was okay.
Yeah.
I think overall we're very used to, like, layered children's programs where they talk about very serious things.
Yeah, because that's what it was like when we were kids. Yeah. To be fair.
And there's stuff like Steven Universe and She-Ra, and those are the things I enjoy now. Those are good children's cartoons that adults can enjoy because they still talk about serious things. Yeah. Whereas Sonic was just okay.
Okay.
There wasn't, like, a deep emotional thing. You feel sorry for Sonic, obviously.
A lot of the deep things happen very fast, so you didn't really have time to process it.
Yeah, but that's Sonic.
No, I know that he gotta go fast, but the rest of the world does not gotta go fast.
Yeah. It was okay. It was like many. It was basic. It was a bit basic because.
Go on then.
Even though I haven't seen the film Hop, starring the man who also stars in this film, you know?
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, but that's all I can think of, where everyone was like, this is awful.
What all you can think of is a film that you haven't seen while reviewing this film that you have just seen.
Yeah, because it's Cyclops, aka Corny Collins.
That's where I've seen him.
Yeah.
That's where I've seen him. Oh my god, I've just spent like an hour and a half looking at him like, where have I seen you?
Or smash hit film Hop.
Which neither of us have seen. No, I spent the whole film just like, I saw you in something. And you weren't great in that, but that's where I know you from. And I don't know what it is. And I loved him. I loved the X-Men films that he was in.
Oh, someone's got a Jaguar. So they've got
Right, I think what part of my beef is... Because to me as well, I would say it was okay. I wouldn't sit there and be like, it was bad.
It wasn't bad. It was just okay, I think.
And, like... I think because of how a lot of kind of video game movies are, that's all I've come to expect. I don't go into one expecting it's going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. My only disappointment is not seeing, spoiler alert, because I'm going to be spoilery, is not seeing Knuckles, because he's my boy. Mm-hmm. But I think what my actual... small beef is that Sonic is a big thing for people like between the age of like 35-ish and like my age of like 26, 27. That's our like childhood. Like we played the Sonic like 1, 2 and 3 like as kids, and then that's the thing that we grew up with. And there was like I had the Sonic like books, which were really, really good. I had like 3 books, and we had like comics, and we had the original cartoon series, and we had the games because we had the Sega Mega Drive. So that was like a thing for me and my brother as a kid. But they've got him flossing, which is like a thing for people who are still kids now. And I'm like, that is like 2 generations younger than the majority of people who are going to go see that film.
It's a film for children now.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, how many kids now do know Sonic? I mean, I know that of course they will, because there are still Sonic games coming out and he's still a character in stuff.
But it's not such a big
like,
thing, because you don't have Sega consoles anymore. Whereas for people sort of our age range, there was Sega consoles, and Sonic was your big thing on that. Like how originally with Nintendo, how Mario was your really big seller on that, and has still gone on to be that. Sega consoles didn't continue on, so it's still very much a Sonic came with Sega. And yeah, they're still making games, but it's not the same.
Everyone still knows those characters, but they're not as important to the...
Yeah, and I know there's like a slightly younger generation of fans who watched like Sonic Boom, which was apparently a really, really good cartoon. But I would say that's still people a little bit older than your kind of flossing generation. So I think it's still... I don't have any issue with how the film was done or anything. I'm not saying it should have been like some fucking gritty
I know.
thing. I just think that those little references were out of place for who the actual audience was, if any of that makes sense.
I think that those things date the film very much.
Yes.
Is also the problem.
Yeah. Which I don't like.
Let me make sure that we are still recording.
There's something that I really don't like about really, really current pop culture references in films and in theatre as well, because I've seen that and that's very uncomfortable to deal with. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. Worse than seeing it in a film is when you've got modern pop culture references in a live theatre performance. Hate that. But yeah, I don't like that. I know what you mean. Like, it very much dates it to, this is a 2020 film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed he didn't go truly supersonic and turn yellow. I was waiting for that to happen.
That's gonna be like the third film or something, though.
Oh yeah, 3 films
Yeah,
down the line.
totally...
When they finally bring Knuckles into it. We need all the boys there. When's your boy Shadow gonna be there? When's he gonna come along with his emo problems where everybody goes, oh Shadow, it's alright dear, it's okay. You do what you gotta do, man. Yeah, you've got a gun, you've got a piece, we all know, it's fine. The rest of us just deal with it now.
I just love him because he's so sad. I think the only episode I ever saw him in the cartoon was where he's on the spaceship, there's the young girl.
Because that's how his game starts. Have you played?
No, I never played any games either, so I don't...
I've got somewhere Shadow the Hedgehog for PS2, and it's good, but it's funny at the same time because it's then made to be this kind of like, it's got a metal soundtrack. It's meant to be this like hard-hitting game where you can pick between being good, neutral, or evil, and you've got these different paths, which is really cool. And if you're good, then like Sonic's with you. If you're evil, then there's like this alien that's like, I know your true past, which you don't have any memory of. But he has a fucking gun.
Yes.
The way that, like, you know, Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, they're just, you know, they do the shit and that.
Yeah.
Shadow's like, I got a piece, and he's gonna shoot at people, and he actually is just shooting at people. And Sonic's like, Shadow, don't shoot the army guys. And Shadow's like, I don't give a fuck. And he's just blasting them.
That's why I love him.
We know. So, what else was I gonna say? What was my thing? I liked Robotnik. I laughed for about 5 minutes about him saying, oh, you've taken a lover.
There were sometimes, the jokes in the film, sometimes they were surprisingly good.
Yeah.
And then other times they were just like, oh.
Some of the jokes were actually quite funny.
Yeah. And then other times, I see
not.
what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so many good films for children, cartoon films, whatever, that are still really funny, and I feel like it's under-delivered in so many places.
I don't know.
It was...
I don't know if now, because you know when there's cartoon films that came out sort of, I hate being this person who's like, when I was a lad, like when I was a kid, like, but you know, you kind of like cartoon films and series from when we were kids, and they actually had a lot of jokes that maybe we didn't get at the time, or we thought it meant something else, or we thought it was funny for that reason. Then when you watch it as an adult, you're like, oh, because it's funny for us, because it was, you know, there's stuff in there for like parents watching it and stuff as well, or for if you are older and watching it, and it was it's funny now because we get it and you're like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't have any of that. Not that I saw.
No. There were moments where I, in my brain, was like, was that a joke?
What you asked yourself, was that a joke?
Were they trying... There were a couple of times where I was expecting someone to say something sexual.
Yeah.
The only time was when he was about to say son of a bitch.
Yeah.
When Cyclops, whose name I can't remember. What's his name in the film? Tom. That was funny.
Yeah, I like that.
Tom, whose dentist calls him.
His dentist calls him Tim. I loved... You know what I genuinely laughed at, and it sounded like a lot of people laughed at, was his sister-in-law, the wife's sister.
She was the best
She
character.
was funny.
She was
like,
so
tried
good.
to put my Fitbit on, get me some steps in. And the kid running around going, gotta go fast! That was good. I loved everything with her. I thought I was going to hate her when...
I thought she was going to be a really slightly gross stereotype.
Yes.
But she was genuinely just really funny.
Yeah.
Whereas... I don't think I liked any of the characters. She was funny. Robotnik was good. He was... Sonic was also good.
Robotnik
but sometimes...
was, like, horrible. And that's good.
Yeah.
Because I truly hated it from the off.
I like the theme that we have going at the moment, which is strange flamboyant man.
Love it.
And his little henchman who's very clearly in love with him.
This takes us back to Birds of Prey.
I think in every episode of the podcast we should come back to Birds of Prey.
Do you know who could have played Robotnik? Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor. Think how good he would have been in his Obi-Wan Kenobi thigh highs. Perfect.
When did they say something about Obi-Wan?
Oh, he said he was like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it was like, hold the phone.
That was a fine reference. Because lots of films reference Star Wars, and that's not too dated. But there are just so many things.
Star Wars is a very timeless thing, I think.
Yeah.
Or the original 6 are, at least, I would say, timeless. So you can get away with making an Obi-Wan
references to those
Kenobi
films, regardless of whether or not you've seen them, you know,
yeah,
like, the archetype of a character.
Whereas there will be people who watch that who don't know what flossing is, and I don't blame them. I wish I didn't know.
And the fact that he did it twice, I thought he was only going to do it once.
I wish they'd left it at once. I could have dealt with once, I think. I love that all he wanted from his life, truly, regardless of everything else that happened around him, was he got a high five.
Yeah, but it wasn't
also a great high five.
Yeah, it was. Even though you saw him, he was like, "Wow," but us watching it cinematically, it was like, "Oh, okay."
Yes,
but
that was it. Cinematically, it wasn't. Nothing actually built up. The final fight was good.
Yeah.
I kind of thought he'd end up in the mushroom world with him. I was kind of waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
Because that's what the games are, is that you are actually in the mushroom world at some point, and that's where you meet Knuckles, because he's in the mushroom forest.
Why?
Because the mushroom place is not actually uninhabited.
Oh, is that where the echidnas are?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's where Knuckles is, at least. Like, you meet him, it's like this autumn, like, woodland forest thing with really giant mushrooms, and that's where you meet Knuckles. So I was expecting him to go there as well, and then to have, you know, some kind of, like, nod to Knuckles, as in, like, next time, like, and it's, I don't know, second film is Sonic trying to get home to Earth or something. Where the fuck has Tails just come from? Where's this child arrived from?
Why does he know about him? Who's Bird Lady? Bird Mum. She must be
I don't know
alive.
who that is.
Is she not real?
I don't know who that is. Sonic's actual backstory is that he actually grew up under a hedge and was like living off burgers. Because, you know, Brian David Gilbert.
To the knitting circle.
Yeah, Brian David Gilbert, love of our lives, has spelt out his backstory to a degree where it's stuck in my mind. And Robotnik was like a father figure to him because he was already that crazy scientist.
Yeah. So what's Robotnik's backstory on Earth? In this film?
In this film?
Yeah.
It just seems to be some,
he's just
stupidly smart government scientist that they don't really like working with but get some good results.
Yeah.
And seems to have all of the funds to build these robots. Yeah. Which I'm glad that they, I don't know if you saw, and since you didn't play the games, this is a very little reference that was actually for the people that play the game, so I appreciate this. When he tripped the power out inside his truck and he flipped the fuses back on, he had the fuses for in his like workshop, and then the few switches above had tape across that said badniks, and that's what his robots with the animals in were called in the games. And then
I read that and I was like, that's going to be something, but I didn't know what. But yeah.
Because he'd trap little animals in his robots to, like, function them. And that's why Sonic and Tails were going around, because they'd jump on top of them, break the robot, and then the little animal would jump away. And that was the point of each level, was that you were freeing the little animals.
So where is these films going to take him?
I don't know. Apparently all around the world. Because these rings just take you wherever you think of. San Francisco.
The whole film, though, the original problem I had with it.
Yeah.
While watching it. Not beforehand. I mean, it was just that when it was like, I don't know where I'm going, you're going to have to help me. All Sonic needs is a map.
Yeah. He would have got there way faster.
And when he was like, we need a key to get up to the roof, but he does run up buildings.
It was a slanted building. I was waiting for him to run up. When he ran off, I thought he was literally going to come back with the rings, and then when he didn't, I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
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 He could have just not done. The whole film could have been irrelevant if he just got a map. He could have ran there.
Yeah.
If he can run.
Yeah.
Very fast, as you know.
If he can go fast,
he could have gone.
He could have got there way before Robotnik realised he had the quill to build some power with. Disappeared.
And then he wouldn't have had the emotional turmoil of having to choose to leave or go.
He wouldn't have made a best friend.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have said, should I stay or should I go now?
Yeah. The best part, what was the best part? Because I liked when Robotnik was dancing.
He had a good time. I hope somewhere on Spotify that playlist is up.
It will be.
The best part... Ooh. 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 I don't know.
Because it was all just fine.
That's the thing, is it was all okay.
That I really did like the scene where he was dancing in his little lab.
Yeah.
And when the screen turned, I thought that was really cool. I don't know.
Yeah, that was good cinematography.
Yeah.
I think the last fight was good.
Yeah.
I love that the power of friendship woke him up from death.
Yes. Okay, so.
You touched my leg. What are we? What are we?
We've just seen Sonic.
Guy who's listening. One single person who's listening. What are we?
Well, okay.
You just poked yourself in the face with that straw. I want to represent how large this
I also
is that you got.
I ordered a large Coke, forgetting I was at the cinema, and when she was like, that's going to be £5 something, I was like, holy, what?
It's like bigger than your head.
I've drank most of it now, though. What was I saying?
Good for you. I don't know, you touched my thigh and it kind of went away.
And the world fell away when I touched your leg.
Small thing I'm wondering, because obviously as we're descending down the steps, we were like, well, clearly there's going to be a second one. I have this feeling, you know when there's a film where there's supposed to be a series of them, and then you look back in time and you think, oh, what happened to those? And then you realise that they never made the second one, they just left it at first.
Priest, starring one of my many strange celebrity crushes, the guy that plays Vision.
Oh, I fancy him.
Oh,
I've
Paul
never
Bettany,
seen that.
that's it. Yeah, because
I fancy him as well, don't worry.
Revealed to my friends that I fancy him. They were like, okay, we have to watch Priest. And like, at the end of the film, he, drives off on a motorbike into the sunset.
Right. As a priest does.
And then they obviously never made a second film, so it's just really sad. But I love Paul Bettany.
Yeah, I just have this feeling it might be one of those.
I hope, if they do make a second one, that it does have more of an emotional impact.
Yeah. I'm a little bit tired of these films, because I didn't see it, but it seems like Detective Pikachu had the same kind of vibe, where it's taking a character that's a creature of some sort from something from our childhood and being like, and now he's in the world with humans.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a human companion and other humans around. It's just like, I actually would have loved a Sonic movie in the Sonic world
Mm-hmm.
with the other characters and Robotnik there and stuff. Like, I would have loved that.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little bit worn out now. There's too much of it.
Yeah, they just picked up some characters and
Yeah.
then moulded a whole new
Yeah.
world rather than established the current one
Yeah.
for a new generation.
I feel like, I mean, I could easily be wrong. I feel like the Transformers movies kind of kick that off a little bit. The way it's, like, kind of mostly about the humans and they're just kind of there.
Mhm.
And I'm like, the humans are alright. I don't really care about their backstory.
You don't
though.
care about Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox? Shia LaBeough's world and we're just living in it.
people, I care about both of them.
Them very
because
deeply,
I feel like
but-
they've both been very hard done to in this world.
Mm-hmm. Cinematically, I don't remember the characters in the Transformers
Well, I
films.
didn't care about them. It's like the majority of this film was actually about Tom and his vet wife and their life decisions
Yeah.
and their love of the town and stuff, which is fine, but it's like I watched it for Sonic and his world
Yeah.
and like his friends and his experience and that, like, not for the humans that happen to be around him.
Something that I didn't like
Mm-hmm.
is that he knows flossing.
That
he
was
knows
awful.
he knows other references to the world,
Yeah.
but he didn't know. What did he say? He didn't know.
He didn't know what a bucket
He didn't know
list
what a
was.
bucket. What a bucket it was. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know what a bucket was.
This is what a £5 Coke does to you. It says zero sugar, but it lies.
And he didn't know what a couple of other things in the film were.
Yeah.
But he knew what Track My Phone was. During the
Yes.
fight scene where he goes, "Did someone leave Track My Phone on or something?" I'm like, "Find
Yeah.
my phone." Yeah, like,
Because he sat and watched films, like, through their window and stuff, I'd say he's more likely to know what a bucket list is. Because, you know, people mention that in films and in cinema and that. I don't think he's likely to know what that is. Like, that's something I do have a problem with in media where somebody has, like, little... it's not really pop culture. Little knowledge of kind of just cultural things.
Yeah.
They always have them know things that don't make any sense. Like, whoever's writing it doesn't sit down and go, right, let's look at where he's learnt these human things from and what he could have feasibly learnt and what he couldn't have. No one's looked at it that way and gone, he would know what a bucket list is.
and then again, that dates the film.
Yeah.
If you make those really small, basic
Oh,
cultural things.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Like Track My Phone.
Oh.
Like, what? No one talks about it. No one.
These are things that we don't bring up.
This is something that in maybe 20 years' time we will forget that,
Yeah.
you know? Or
Yeah.
it was a fine film.
Yeah, I
It
think,
was
like,
fine.
obviously it sounds like we've got a lot of beef with it. But it's just, I think it's fair criticism.
Because it is a kids' film, but it's based off something that
people in their late 20s, early 30s enjoyed
Yeah.
originally.
So, who is the audience of this film exactly? It's trying to be both, but it's not really working.
This is my problem with, because like I said, like, I'm not asking for it to be some ridiculously gritty film. I'm not asking for a Shadow the Hedgehog movie, although I would watch the shit out of that. It'd be like Bad Boys, but with like a CGI hedgehog. Genuine. Like, I need to crack that game out, and then you'll love every second of it. Everything's on fire, and he's got a gun. That's how it is. Like, a Sonic movie shouldn't be that, but this is, and I know that this is very controversial, this is my problem with everything having to be accessible to children. And I'm not saying that in a way of like, oh, you have to make a film that's full of sex and swearing. It's just that's been made very, very accessible to children now, and dating it to children now, when in reality, given who the majority of who your audience is going to be, like, that's a strange move. But it's because people will, like, there's a lot of complaints if something's not fully accessible to children. It's like, not everything has to be, you know? You're
Well-
not a child forever. Not everything needs to be.
With...
Which I know is very controversial.
No, because, like, we've said with Teen Titans,
Yeah.
or Avatar, or even now,
Yeah.
Steven Universe, their cartoons, I mean, those two were from, how long ago? How long ago was Teen Titans and Avatar?
The Teen Titans cartoon was...
Because Avatar's had its, like, 10th anniversary or something, hasn't it, recently?
Oh, I don't know, I never watched Avatar.
Okay.
Teen Titans was early noughties.
Mm-hmm. So both of those things were... I mean, Teen Titans is based off comics and
Yeah.
established characters.
Teen Titans is
But they-
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
Phenomenal, I just want to say. Amazing. Unprecedented.
I remember it because it talked about some really deep, serious, emotional things. And then when I was a bit older, Avatar, even though that was a fun kids' adventure, it dealt with so much stuff. And now Steven Universe, even though I am an adult and that is a children's show, I don't feel like it's dumbed down for kids.
Yes,
it's still like...
that's a big problem, isn't it? Is that there are a lot of things are dumbed down for kids, and like the reality is that when you're a kid, you should...
Even though you maybe fully don't understand the scope of what's happening...
It's how you learn to understand
yeah.
these issues, though, isn't it? Because if you don't have any media that addresses certain issues as a child, when you experience them as a little bit older, I can't imagine what that's like, because our generation of people didn't have that. Like, we had things that did address these issues in a way that was accessible for us. So that's got to be really jarring for younger generations where their media doesn't behave like that so much, because it doesn't seem to, from what I've seen.
There's not so many things, I don't think, now. Well, like with the Teen Titans new cartoon, that's obviously a problem.
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
And the reboot of Powerpuff Girls.
I haven't seen anything about it. I didn't.
All I've seen about it is A, how bad it is, just overall. B, how bad the animation is. C, that they, like Teen Titans Go, have ruined the characters and the dynamics and the lessons and everything. And also, apparently, it's so badly made that a character will speak while the mouth of another one is moving, and the characters will like clip into each other. And it's
is
like,
it 3D or is it 2D looking? You know?
I don't know. It doesn't look like the old one.
Okay.
I think it looks very much like Teen Titans Go does, which I'm not a fan
Something
of.
that I've just thought. She-Ra, the new one, the new Netflix one, which I love and adore, but obviously original She-Ra was He-Man and those cartoons.
Yeah.
So mostly adult males who are around 30, 40-ish don't like the new She-Ra.
Yeah. Because she doesn't have titty out, that's why.
Yeah, yeah.
If we're being blunt, it's because she doesn't have titty out.
It's still...
I hate that I've just said that in my fucking horrible accent.
It's a children's cartoon for children, as was He-Man. But obviously it's a very different time, and I think it's still it's a fantastic show, and I get why people want a new version of something to have the essence of what their childhood thing was. But like She-Ra, for example, has made it better, I would argue, because the diversity, they're not all sexy, and all that stuff. For the stuff that they changed for a new generation, She-Ra did it well. But
because I think we've established nowadays, I would like to say that 99% of people have come to terms with the fact that you can't have a female superhero that just has all of her fleshy bits on show, because that's not safe. You can't fight like that. If you want to go down to actual practicality, ignoring the fact that you just wouldn't, because you just wouldn't, like, it's not safe and practical. If you've got your midriff out and you're in a fight with somebody, or your like major organs are exposed, if you've got your chesticles out, like, it's not practical. So I think it's it's absolutely better to have it like that. But then you've got your minority of an audience that it's not actually designed for.
It's not designed for them anymore.
Oh, she looks like a boy, and I'm like, cheers. Like, I don't have massive tits either, but it doesn't mean I look like a boy. Like, what?
It's not for that audience. The new She-Ra isn't for that audience anymore.
No.
which I think is a good way of selling something. It's not made for you,
Yeah.
40-year-old man.
Yeah.
This is a cartoon for girls, for young children mostly.
I think
Whereas
they're just
Sonic,
shook that everything is made for them.
yeah,
And now they're like, oh, hold on. Not everything is. What? What's that little bird meme where it's like, I am angry when we are not about me? Or something. You know what I mean? The little bird one was. Yeah. Whereas Sonic is actually should be for
this
a little
Sonic
bit younger,
is so
but
much more
around about
recent
that.
as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not looking at. I'm not judging your lip balm. I'm just
I'm
staring.
just fiddling with
Okay.
it while we talk. Yeah. I don't know. I liked it. I did.
Mhm.
I would say, like, yeah, my overall thought is I'm not disappointed because that's the level of quality I come to expect of films that are made from things that I enjoyed as a kid, essentially. You know, I never go into them thinking, thank fuck, like, they've actually done it, it's going to be amazing, like, we're going to use, like the new, like, technology that we have to make something incredible. Like, as much as I'm excited for the Dune film this year, because it's got an amazing cast, and we're going to have the current level of just technology that we can use to build that should be something that's incredibly exciting. But nowadays I'm kind of like, I'm gonna hold back a bit because you've got no guarantee that something's gonna be as good as it could be.
A lot of things are just remade for the sake of it.
Absolutely,
these days. And even though they might be passion projects for some of the people making them, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're good or should be happening.
I think Deadpool is a good example of a passion project in terms of from Ryan Reynolds that went very well. I would say that Birds of Prey is another one because obviously Margot Robbie absolutely loves Harley Quinn, and like many of us, were not pleased with the way that Suicide Squad portrayed things. So I think that those are two very good examples, but that's an example where somebody was already going to be making like a gritty kind of superhero film. Yeah. But I've managed both sets of those films are really fun, and I think that that's a big thing with it. But then, I mean, I don't know. I think that Sonic's a bit of a passion project, but I'm not sure.
I'm sure it is for a lot of the people in it.
Yeah.
Like, who did grow up wanting to, like, loving Sonic and wanting to make a new Sonic thing. But as a person, I think it's good that we have different perspectives on that, because I didn't grow up with Sonic. I didn't play the games or anything. I saw him, like, I saw a couple of the cartoons and that sort of stuff, so I've always known who he is. But, like, as a film, it was just fine. Yeah. As a, like, I'm sure kids are going to enjoy it. I'm not, like, angry.
Kid, when he lost his coins, and he's like, oh, he's lost his money, he's gonna be poor now, like, from the front of the cinema. That always reminds me of my best experience of that, because I'm not a huge fan of, like, being able to hear just somebody, like, talking the whole way through and rustling something. When I went to see the Simpsons movie, so this is how long ago this was.
I saw it in the cinema as
so
well.
Did I? Yes. So, you know when Green Day, like, their, like, barge is going down in the water?
I can't remember
It's quite early on. They're, like, sinking into the river.
Yeah.
So as they're sinking, and then there's a quiet moment, this kid at the front of the cinema, really loudly, to the point where everyone heard it, and it was a quiet moment in the film, went, are they gonna get wet? And everyone just fucking howling, laughing. It was amazing. That's all I remember of the film. That's it.
When I went to see My Favourite Murder live, there was a few women said... Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
carry on.
Sorry. At the same time? No, probably not. I don't think so. I think when did I see? Anyway.
That's another time.
There was a few women sat down from me.
Yeah.
Obviously drinking. But as they were, you know, talking about the murder story, the women down from me were just going, oh no, like, very loudly. And even though, when you're listening to the podcast and you can hear the audience go, ooh, like, be uncomfortable, but just to hear a woman really loudly next to me be like, oh dear, oh no.
Wow. Okay, so my final thought would be then that I think, like you started saying, I think the fact that we've got completely different perspectives going into the film, but we've come out with the same review, I think is quite a like telling thing. It's very universal that it was okay.
Yeah.
Because if we'd both gone in and you'd gone, it was okay, and I'd gone, that was incredible, then that would be very biased to the fact that it was something that I grew up playing. But I think considering that we've both come out going, yeah, it was alright.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't amazing. It was just okay.
Yeah.
Then I think that I'd give it an okay.
An okay out of 10.
Okay out of 10. What's our rating system? That's something we didn't develop.
How many Ewan McGregors
I was going to say, how many Ewan's toe boots out of 10 do we give it? Oh my god, I literally just thought, oh my god, okay.
A 3.
A 3? What, out of 10 or 5?
Out of 10.
Okay.
Oh, why? What? A 1 out of 5, a 3 out of 10.
Ooh, that's
What
quite
marking?
low, actually.
Yeah, because it was just fine. Because there wasn't, I don't know. I don't, when I say I want it to have a bit more emotional stuff in it, I don't mean I want it to be dark and gritty. I just want it to be
You
like...
need a Shadow the Hedgehog movie.
Oh.
I'm going to find that game,
I love
and
him.
we're going to play it. I'd give it... Ooh. Just because I think... I never realised this until the other week, but I think the scale rating is also up for perception as well. I would say an 8 out of 10 is not good enough for me because I'm very hard on myself. But when somebody, you know, when I got given an 8 out of 10 the other day and somebody was like, oh, it's room for improvement, I'm like, I do not see it that way. He was like, that's a good score. And I'm like, no, a 10 is a good score, thank you. So I'd probably give it a 4.5 heel clicks from Ewan McGregor.
Heel clicks, yeah.
I'd give it a 7 if Ewan McGregor had been Robotnik, because I think that would have been amazing. As much as I like Jim Carrey, I thought he was good. I now also have in the back of my mind forever that he's an anti-vaxxer.
But... Wait,
I told you that, didn't I?
But he is an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah, Jim Carrey's an anti-vaxxer.
Oh, I thought you were on about Ewan.
No, not Ewan. God, no, not Ewan.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think...
Not our precious Ewan.
You could do no wrong.
Ewan do no wrong.
I think Jim Carrey was perfect as Robot. I mean, if he'd... There were some places it could have been improved overall, like, but yeah.
But that's not necessarily down to him. That could be writing, character creation.
But if
stuff.
Ewan were maybe in the place of Cyclops,
yes,
that would have been fun.
And no, go on.
No,
go on. I was gonna just slag him off for a second.
What, Cyclops?
Yeah. You check in with still recording before I slag him off. He's not the best actor. He's not terrible.
He's fine. He's always
just fine.
himself.
He's again, if he suited the film because he's okay. You know.
And he has been in the film Hop, in which he's just a
Neither
regular
of
man.
us have
I
seen
know,
it.
but he's just a regular man.
Seen it.
He's just a regular man who finds this CGI animal and has to go on an adventure with it.
Oh my
and
god,
it
is that
keeps
his
happening.
brand though?
It seems so.
Oh, I wouldn't want to be typecast as that.
He's very
Man who
shy.
finds CGI animal. I don't want that. That's not for me.
But that's what's happening. Otherwise, he is Cyclops or Corny Collins from Hairspray.
I've never seen Hairspray, I'm sorry.
Hairspray.
It's a musical.
But it's great.
It's a musical.
You haven't seen Hairspray? It's fantastic. Queen Latifah's there, Zac Efron, someone else.
Give me your hand a second. It's a musical. That's
Yeah.
why I haven't seen it.
But if Birds of Prey was a musical, would you have seen it? I think it would have done very well as a musical.
Probably not. I don't think I would have seen it.
Shocking.
I mean, maybe because of the characters in it, but I would have come out of it giving it
I think we should
not
watch
quite as good a
Hairspray
review.
because people who don't like musicals love Hairspray.
But it's a musical.
Yeah, but it's a good one.
What did I call a musical the other day? There was something that is absolutely not a musical, and I was like, oh, there's a song in the middle, so technically it's a musical.
Oh yeah, what was it?
What was that? Oh, I called Scott Pilgrim a musical. I mean, I was like, what's the number one musical in the world? Scott Pilgrim.
I guess.
It's the only musical I love.
Ugh.
Okay. So we've got a 3 Ewan McGregor heel clicks and a 4.5. Which is, it's okay. It was okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Guy.
Thank you for listening. I was gonna say
Watching?
watching. Thank you for watching.
Once again, we didn't introduce ourselves.
I'm Courtney Collins, and this is... I think we should introduce...
And I'm a 5-pound bottle of Coke.
Good night.
And this was Two Thirsty Girls.
That's the show.
That's it.
That's the
show.
show.
That's the show.